The people you see in these photos have conquered their weight and are now in the best shape of their lives. Yet not one of them lost one fat cell in the process. How can this be? It's because everything you've been told about losing fat is a lie. The entire concept of burning fat cells is not only false, it's now known to be scientifically impossible. New research is turning everything you've always been told about losing fat upside down, while giving many longtime dieters the changed bodies they could only dream of. It's no accident that more than 90% of people who lose a lot of weight gain it back. Nearly 1/3 of American adults are overweight, and another third are technically obese. A vast effort to persuade the public to change its habits just hasn't prevented or cured obesity. The off and on experience for dieters who shed pounds and gain them back may be due to the persistence of hormones that drive the urge to eat even a year after people lose weight. How can 3 family members slim down to half their body weight without even trying, with the help of an appetite control hormone called leptin?
Hi, I'm Phil, and I've got a strange confession to make in a video about dieting. I've given up on diets and losing fat for good. And here's where it gets even stranger. So has everybody I've shared this secret with so far. All thanks to one doctor you'll meet in just a minute, whose ideas about changing your body forever are so different from the conventional wisdom about dieting and exercise. I guarantee you've never seen anything like this before. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and predict that by the end of this short presentation, which won't be up for long, you'll be able to take a deep breath of relief and never stress out about dieting and exercise ever again. I know that's a pretty bold claim, and you might be thinking, wait a minute, this guy doesn't know anything about what I've gone through trying to lose weight. What else I've tried, what my genetics are, whether I'm a man or a woman, how old I am, or anything like that. Well, here's the thing. I couldn't have said this to you even a year ago. But it doesn't matter anymore if you're male or female, in your 20s or your 50s, how much stubborn fat you're staring at in the mirror, or even if you're convinced you're just genetically cursed to never be thin. That stuff only matters if you're following the traditional advice you've heard 1,000,000 times in 100 different flavors. You know, exercise to burn fat, eat less and cut carbs, or cut fat, or cut sugars to lose fat. Then just keep sweating and starving to maintain your results. Well, those plans don't work, and those days are over. Because here's what scientists have just started to realize. Dieting gets you nowhere. I know. You could have told the guys in the lab coats that yourself, right? I mean, we are human, and we love to eat. Well, specifically, they discovered that even if you join a rigorous scientific experiment where doctors custom tailor a diet for you and constantly watch you and measure everything so there's no way you can cheat or do anything wrong, the results still don't last. And that's right. Even if they got you to lose a ton of weight, you'd still gain at least half of it back within a year, and you'd still feel like you were struggling to diet and keep weight off after all that time. That means all that guilt you've been heaping onto your food choices is completely misguided. You've been torturing yourself trying to lose fat for nothing. Kind of depressing, right? The good news is, scientists are also just finding out there's a really simple reason why people consistently fail to lose weight. And there's a brand new way people are using to shrink their waistlines without those yo-yo diets, or the risk of losing all your progress in one careless weekend. First, here's the problem with traditional dieting in a nutshell. You can't lose fat. It's physically impossible. I'll say that again. You can never lose fat. Take a look at these photos. The people in these photos have transformed their bodies, yet none of them have lost a single fat cell. That's what I found out when I sat down with one of these doctors who are just discovering the new science of getting thin. His name is Dr. Mike Roussel, and he's the guy with weird ideas I told you about a minute ago.
Why are nutritional researchers like Dr. Mike Roussel just discovering the real reasons you struggle to lose weight? It's the same reason why most expert advice about nutrition leaves people more confused than ever about how to eat a healthy diet. The money the food industry spends every year to influence what the government and even many certified nutritionists tell the public about what to eat. In exchange for these lobbying dollars, over $21 million this year just to Congress alone, Big Food gets to put its stamp of approval on everything from the food pyramid to health research at America's colleges and universities. It even buys heart-healthy endorsements for products like sugar-packed cereals. Dr. Mike realized the system was broken, and after becoming one of the select few nutritionists to pursue a doctorate degree, he refused to let big food fund his research. Instead, he joined a small circle of independent researchers who are finally shining a light on nutrition's biggest lie.
Here's what Dr. Mike has discovered about why we struggle so much to lose weight using traditional diets.
Every one of us was born with a certain number of adipocytes. That's doctor speak for fat cells. When you gain weight, your fat cells swell up like balloons until they can't get any bigger, and then they divide and create new fat cells.
And what the diet experts never tell you is, you can't burn off, melt, or lose any of those fat cells you already have right now as you're watching this. They're yours for keeps. So how does anybody get thin without losing a single fat cell? Take a moment and grab onto a stubborn area of fat you'd love to get rid of for good. It could be your belly, your thighs, or your love handles. See what it feels like. It's both soft and firm. Kind of like a balloon filled up with water, right? Now, pinch an area of your body that doesn't have any visible extra fat, like your forearm. Well, that's essentially what you're seeing in these photos. These people have shrunk their waistlines and gotten rid of their visible, pinchable fat by deflating their fat cells so dramatically. You might think they've just melted away. In fact, it takes just 2 short days for this transformation to start happening. So make a note to try this again over the next few weeks. You'll see what I mean when the extra fat you can hold in your hand right now begins to shrink so much you can feel it getting smaller between your fingers. And you repeat this same little pinch test 60 days from today? Get prepared to find spots where you can barely feel your old stubborn fat at all. Now, shrinking down all those fat cells is great while it lasts. But if you've ever experienced a successful diet only to rebound back to your old weight and shape, you know it's pretty hard to keep your fat cells thin for long. Why? Because the latest research from researchers like Dr. Mike reveals you can't just diet and exercise like weight loss and fitness gurus have always told you. Not if you want to look good and keep your new shape struggle-free for more than just a few weeks. That means you can't just lose some weight and then pretend you've gotten rid of all that fat for good. You haven't. As we now know, it's still there. You just can't see it. So as soon as you stop dieting, it comes right back. It's like you're playing an endless game of whack-a-mole with your body. To reshape your body fast and keep your new body for life, you've got to do more than just temporarily shrink your fat cells the way usual diets do. You need to permanently detox all the fat in your body and transform it into healthy cells that actually help you keep excess weight off for good. Now, I'm not talking about flushing toxins out of your colon or fasting or drinking strange potions. I'm talking about restoring your fat cells to their natural, healthy state. And here's where the really good news comes in. Detoxing and changing your fat cells from your worst enemy into your waistline's new best friend is much simpler, cheaper, and easier than any traditional diet or exercise routine. Because getting healthy fat cells that naturally shrink and stay that way doesn't involve starving yourself or sweating on a treadmill. Believe it or not, it's all about hormones. That's right, hormones. But not the ones you've probably heard of like testosterone and estrogen. This has nothing to do with age or whether you're a man or a woman. These hormones are produced by the fat cells in everyone's body. And when your fat cells are toxic, these hormones get way out of whack. You might even have heard about the most important of these fat hormones on the news. It's called leptin.
Leptin is your body's fat thermostat. It tells your brain how much body fat you've stored away in your fat cells. The more fat cells you have and the bigger your fat cells become, the more leptin gets produced. Now, what your body's supposed to do is respond to high levels of leptin by cranking up your metabolism and burning off more energy from every meal you eat instead of storing it away as more fat.
But here's what Dr. Mike discovered really happens.
When you're overweight, after a while, your body just stops responding to leptin. It's like your brain is not getting the signal. So you just keep packing away the extra fat meal after meal.
Think that sounds like a tough cycle to break out of? Well, it gets even worse when you have one of those mirror moments and decide to go on a diet.
By cutting calories, you're forcing your fat cells to shrink. And because you're not doing anything about your fat hormones, your fat cells start producing even less leptin than before.
Ever heard of starvation mode? That's what happened to your body when it's already not responding normally to leptin and other fat hormones. And suddenly your levels get lower and lower. Sure, you might lose some pounds, but your body thinks you're starving. So it slows down your metabolism to a crawl and makes sure you get hungrier and hungrier, desperately craving all the food you're denying yourself. Sound familiar? It's the reason why diet after diet fails to give you the permanent, cravings-free body transformation you deserve. And why science is just now waking up to the fact that merely cutting calories, or slashing carbs and sugars, and even following the experts' ideal food pyramid to the letter just doesn't work. Because as long as toxic fat cells are keeping your leptin and other fat hormone levels out of balance, your body will continually fight every last effort you make, no matter how extreme, to get the body of your dreams. So just how are you supposed to get fat cells back to normal and get your fat hormones working on your side again like they're supposed to? Well, it's important to realize this toxic fat cell problem didn't even exist for most of our ancestors, and now it affects almost everybody. Think about it. How many cavemen do you think went around watching carbs and running on treadmills?
No.
Heck, how many people obsessed over endless diets and fitness fads just a few generations ago? If you're guessing a lot less than today, you're right. Not because they didn't care if they were overweight either. The weight of the average American has jumped by over 26 pounds in the last 40 years alone. No wonder a record 2/3 of us are overweight or obese, and nearly half that many are pre-diabetic. The big difference between us and our grandparents, the difference that's keeping your fat cells toxic and sabotaging every effort you make to change your body, is your lifestyle. I'm talking about practically everybody's lifestyle today in the 2000s. And this is not about the really bad habits either. Just little stuff everybody does without even thinking about it. Small changes in everything from the way we eat, sleep, and spend our time every single day. But here's the good news. Tweaking your lifestyle in ways that bring your fat hormones back into balance and detox your fat cells is much easier than the usual crash diet and time-consuming workout plans you're used to. The only problem is, these discoveries researchers like Dr. Mike have stumbled on about how to transform your body by transforming your fat cells are so new. Most expert nutritionists and diet gurus haven't caught up yet, and Big Food is lobbying hard to make sure it stays that way. That means figuring out the exact step-by-step system to reset your body's fat thermostat would normally mean digging through scientific journals until your eyes bleed, or getting Dr. Roussel to work with you one-on-one. Of course, neither of those options is realistic for most people who need this information. And that's why Dr. Mike finally agreed to produce a home study version of the system anyone can follow from start to finish in just 60 days. It's called Detox Your Fat, and it reveals step-by-step precisely how to reshape your body for life by forcing your fat hormones to start helping you rather than holding you back.
In step 1, detox your plate. Dr. Mike reveals the simple food habits that keep your fat cells toxic and your hormones out of balance, and how you can quickly and easily tip your body's energy balance back in your favor to hit your metabolic burn zone for fast, cravings-free weight loss. You'll discover why traditional calorie-cutting diets rob you of real results by tripping your brain's starvation mode alarm, and how to bypass this vicious cycle for good without depriving yourself or giving up any of your favorite foods. In fact, Dr. Mike has developed 84 all-new, easy and delicious meal and shake recipes just for the Detox Your Fat program, so you'll never get bored or feel like you're on a traditional diet. Step 2, detox your waistline, is the core of the system, because in Detox Your Fat, you'll learn how to burn off calories instead of dieting them away. But remember, this is not about sweating at the gym. It's about making small lifestyle changes to correct your fat hormone balance that fly under the radar of the resistance your body has built up to losing weight. That means you don't need to spend your life on a treadmill. In fact, a lot of the fixes Dr. Mike recommends don't require any extra planning. For instance, taking the stairs instead of waiting on the elevator can torch up to 100 calories a day. Just starting simple habits that instantly make you more active without feeling like you're working out. It's all about what Dr. Mike calls OBA, off your butt activities. And if you're wondering how these little things can get you kind of fast results you're after, consider this. You might not realize it, but between TV, computers, driving, and desk jobs, most people are sitting down more than ever before in history, an average of over 9 hours a day. And it's no coincidence that people who are overweight sit 2.5 hours more per day than thin people. Now, the newest research is showing what doctors have suspected for a while. Our bodies just weren't built for this much inactivity, and it's making us heavier than ever. Kicker is, that's true even if you do exercise. That's right, you can go to the gym 3 times a week or more, but if you're not active the rest of your day, you're undoing the results you've sweated for. That's why in the Detox Your Fat system, you'll take advantage of easy off-your-butt activities that let you get results from the untapped body sculpting power of what doctors call non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT. That's a mouthful. But just by tapping into this hidden calorie melting resource, you can instantly burn an extra 2,000 calories a day. That's about a week's worth of gym workouts, all by implementing easy fixes. Of course, the easiest Detox Your Fat activity of all is the extra sleep you'll treat yourself to. Step 3. Detox your sleep. Sleep is key to resetting your body's metabolic thermostat and making leptin and your other fat hormones work for you rather than against you. Research proves sleep is one of the best natural appetite suppressants there is, and it's particularly good at starving off junk food cravings. Unfortunately, even as we're sitting more and more during the day, we're sleeping less and less. So much less, it's dragging our metabolisms and leptin levels down. Just one night of sleep below this metabolically dangerous threshold is enough to throw your fat hormone balance even further out of sync.
So to make sure your nighttime sleep debt isn't sabotaging your daytime results, Dr. Mike shows exactly how to get sleep back on your side, even if you've struggled to get a good night's rest for years. You'll even discover how to conquer your sleep debt even faster by tapping into the power of mental massage to take deep, restful, 15-minute naps during the day anytime you want, even if you've never successfully napped before. Plus, you can use the same technique to fall asleep faster and sleep better and longer at night, so you wake up full of energy, with your body firing on all cylinders from the minute your feet hit the floor. And once you're implementing all 3 pillars of the Detox Your Fat system, detox your plate, detox your waistline, and detox your sleep, the absolute best part is your new healthy fat cells help keep you slim, just like your old toxic fat cells used to wreck your results. So instead of completing just another diet and enjoying the new you on borrowed time until the hunger and cravings drag you back to normal, after just 60 days you get to experience the kind of permanent weight loss that's only possible once your body's natural fat regulating mechanism is back on track, working the way our ancestors took for granted to keep you lean and full of energy. You get to finally enjoy your new shape, knowing what you see in the mirror can't be undone by one late night snack, holiday dinner, or weekend of letting it go. And even though working with Dr. Mike one-on-one to get this system working for you would run you a cool $225 per hour, because you're getting the full online home study version of Detox Your Fat with no doctor visits required and nothing to ship, you can grab instant download access to everything in this video, plus some cool extra surprises, for just one payment of $97.
And since you're one of the first to watch this presentation, you get a first mover deal for acting fast. Try Detox Your Fat today and get everything for just one payment of $39.95, less than half the regular price. That's less than a 1-month membership at most gyms. And considering that the average box diet costs more than $85 per week, you'll love eating delicious everyday foods and saving hundreds of dollars every month. This offer is strictly limited, and it will be edited out of this video once a certain number of people have watched it. If you're seeing this, your price is still just $39.95. So make sure you don't leave this page without locking it in.
All it takes is 60 days, just 2 short months, to finally stop dieting and start changing your body for good. So to make it a complete no-brainer to get started, you don't need to decide today. In fact, Dr. Mike insists you take the full 60 days to put your Detox Your Fat to the test and see your own results in the mirror. Then tell us if you want to keep it. If you're not thrilled with the results you've achieved 60 days from today, or if you decide Detox Your Fat is not for you for any reason, Dr. Mike will buy it back from you and refund every penny you paid on the spot. No questions asked, no explanation required. Now, I've seen what the Detox Your Fat program can do, so I'm not telling you about this guarantee because I expect you to be disappointed. I'm letting you know you're 100% protected from day one because I want to make absolutely sure you have the confidence to start today with nothing holding you back. And it's easy to take that first step. Just click the big orange Add to Cart button below this video to go straight to the 100% secure checkout page, and you'll get online access to Detox Your Fat right away. Just remember, if you're hesitating even the slightest bit to jump on this now, even though the facts revealed in this video about how to finally detox your fat cells and permanently reshape your body has never been shared publicly before, now that you've seen it, you've got a decision to make. And whether you click the Add to Cart button right now or not, you're making a choice that will affect your body and your health for weeks, months, and even years to come. You can ignore what you've seen here, keep getting let down by the latest fad diet or magic bullet fat loss pill, and keep falling victim to the same vicious cycle as your toxic fat hormones force you to regain every pound you lose. You can resign yourself to never changing your body and living with the weight and shape you've got now, accepting that all the dieting you've ever attempted has been a waste of time and money. Or you can be one of the first to take action today with Dr. Mike Roussel's all-new Detox Your Fat program and smile at the real results you see at your next mirror moment, knowing you've stopped dieting and started changing your body and your life for good. Click the Add to Cart button now, and I'll see you inside.